Now, Wetherspoons boss Sir Tim Martin is sounding the alarm over what he calls a punishing tax raid on pubs incoming potentially on Wednesday. Now, he's urging the Chancellor Rachel Reeves to wake up before hitting locals with any forms of higher costs, warning that rising levies could push even more boozers to the brink. Well, he joins me now, the chairman of JD Wetherspoons, the legend Sir Tim Martin. Tim, welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to have your company. So yesterday, Kemi Badenoch and Mel Stride from the Conservative Party joined you in one of your magnificent boozers, and you were in fighting form. You're warning the Chancellor, hands off our boozers.
Well, I think I was making the point that I've made for years to different governments, that there's a big tax differential between supermarkets and pubs. So it's far more tax paid by a pub on the same transaction. But that's been going on for a long time. So it's not just Rachel Reeves, it's previous governments as well. And pubs have lost an alarming half their beer volume to supermarkets since 2000, which accelerated during the lockdowns. So, and we've had very big tax increases since. So as a friendly comment to Rachel to say, you may not have noticed, but pubs are struggling a bit, so please seek tax from elsewhere. So whether that actually works or not, I don't know.
So, Tim, you did acknowledge that Sir Keir Starmer has a difficult job to do in number 10. That's putting it mildly. But you did add he could be nicer to Timbo sometimes. What kind of break would you like to get from the Prime Minister, Sir Tim?
I'd say, Keir, be nice to us. Pubs are very good, so are supermarkets. Supermarkets do a magnificent job for their customers, but they don't need tax breaks vis-a-vis pubs. So pubs pay 20% tax, VAT on food, and supermarkets pay nothing. And we also pay about 25 pence a pint in pubs on business rates, and supermarkets pay about 2 pence. So I'd say try and equalise it. I think there's a principle of taxation, and because it's quite complex, a lot of people don't get it, including I think people in the Treasury, people in the government, and even people running pub companies. Because the tax is invisible, it's beneath people's radar. But there's a principle of taxation that it should be fair and equitable. So I think the same tax policy should apply to supermarkets and pubs. Not denigrating supermarkets, but give us a break, Keir, I'd say. I'll buy you a pint.
Well, that would be free beer, Keir. No doubt he'd quite like that.
I'm a reasonable man. Free beer forever.
Not long ago, I introduced Claude Note, a powerful AI-enabled meeting assistant, and today we're excited to have in hand Claude's latest upgraded version. Is this a platinum credit card? Nope. It's Claude Note Pro, your updated AI-powered meeting assistant. With 4 built-in microphones, Claude Note captures everything and records crystal clear audio up to 5 meters away. But it's more than a recorder. Take photos, jot ideas, mark highlights, and during key discussions, if I press the button just right here, it instantly saves 30 seconds of key audio as a highlight. I never miss important details. And you've got 50 hours non-stop recording on Note Pro, or 60 hours on standby. There's a smart display showing battery life, recording status, and file transfers, so you always know what's going on. Then, Claude turns it into structured notes, summaries, insights, to-dos, even analysis of power dynamics in the room. And with Ask Claude, your contextual AI assistant, you can draft emails, extract data, brainstorm, or find anything across past meetings. And you're safe knowing that your data is yours and completely private. Click the link in the video description to pre-order your Claude Note Pro. And if you'd like to experience Claude Intelligence even earlier, I've got a special offer for you. Use the code GB20 when ordering Claude Note and get 20% off.
No more than half a pint a day.
There we go. Free beer, Keir, if you give a break to Sir Tim Martin. Another thing that came up, Sir Tim, and this is, I think a lot of people don't understand this also, a tranche of your revenue, of course, you're a multi-stranded business, it's fruit machines. And there's going to be this clampdown on betting levies, and that's just another sort of example of the death by 1,000 paper cuts that boozers are facing.
Yes, I mean, it's quite a small percentage of our revenue. It's about 3% comes from fruit machines, and they're small prizes compared to online gambling and so on. But if you tax it even more, it'll put even greater pressure on pubs. So that's where I said, leave pubs, at least leave them alone. Please give us tax equality. If you can't do that, leave them alone and don't go grabbing a few quid here and there. There are so many taxes of one type or another, and our company pays its customers and staff generate nearly a billion of tax for the government, and it's our profits are 6 or 7% of what we pay in tax. So I think don't kill the golden goose. We generate a lot of profits, create a lot of jobs, not just Wetherspoon, but the whole hospitality industry, restaurants and so on. And it's collectively a very important part of the economy. So you need sophisticated understanding of the mechanics and of the economics. And I'm not sure recent governments, plural, have had that.
And I wonder if, Sir Tim, the COVID report came out yesterday, and of course, you will remember better than most how impactful lockdowns were on your industry, and all of the margins never seem to have come down ever since. You're being hit by increased labour costs now with the taxation change there, national insurance changes, energy costs. All of your margins have gone up and they've simply never come down. And all you were asking for is just a bit of a break.
I think that what the lockdowns did, leave aside whether there should have been lockdowns or not, but what they in effect did is they got people used to drinking at home or to eating at home. And many of us had hardly ever had a pint at home before the lockdowns. And humans are more creatures of habit than we realized. So once the lockdowns finished, people stayed doing the same thing. So people have never got out of the house in the numbers they had historically. But that had been going on for 2 or 3 decades at least, as the differential between the price of a pint in a pub and a supermarket ratcheted up over the decades. So slightly complex picture, but the lockdowns definitely were free promotion for supermarkets, which, we don't blame them for that. But once people start filling their fridge up with Doom Bar and Abbott Ale, they don't automatically go back to the pub very quickly. They're starting now. They're back. Most of them are back, thank goodness.
So, Tim, it's also worth pointing out, particularly as the weather gets colder, I know from my local Wetherspoons, particularly a lot of older boys, older girls, they go there not only for bottomless drinks, coffees and the like, and of course a pint, but it's warm. They go there to stay warm. They stay there for company. Pubs aren't just about selling booze. Pubs are a hub. They're a place where people connect, a place where people stay warm, and they're an integral part of every community in Britain.
Well, that's right. I was brought up mostly in Ireland, and when I was 18, I went, got a job in Wokingham in Berkshire, and if it hadn't been for the local pub, and I'm sure this is true of millions of people, I think I would have gone bonkers in my bedsit. So pubs are the social hub. I think it was the king himself who came up with that expression, and it is right. They are a social centre and a community centre, since we're not as religious as we used to be, especially.
Yeah, I absolutely concur. Pubs as the new churches. I'll be going and praying my respects later on. So, Tim Martin, thanks for the work you do, and thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight. Let's see if Sir Keir Starmer takes you on that offer of free beer, Keir. So, Tim Martin, thank you very much, mate. Always an absolute pleasure